might have the balls to speak out. Someone needed to stand up and speak the truth. You can't pretend to the outside world that you're nice, shiny, and green, and internally, a brown piece of shit.
Parts of this video draw on statements from Desiree Fixler that we haven't been able to fully verify independently. To date, neither Deutsche Bank nor DWS or its board members have been convicted in this case. However, the prosecutor's office at German financial hub Frankfurt is currently investigating DWS and the former CEO. In the US, investigations were dropped after DWS paid a multi-million-dollar fine to the SEC. We traveled to London for this story. This is where Desiree lives and works now. She is American and has built a pretty classic career in the finance industry.
Awesome. Just got camo. Save it for Spectre.
I've worked at a number of large banks, and in fact, I worked at Deutsche Bank in the mid-1990s, from the mid-90s to the late 90s. I worked at, JP Morgan, and I worked at Zeiss Group, a credit investment management company.
Starting in the mid-2000s, she began focusing her work on sustainable, green investment strategies.
When I got the job offer at DWS in 2020 to be their first chief sustainability officer, I was so happy. It was a dream job. I was so excited for this.
DWS is listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. While it operates as an independent company, it is 80% owned by and closely tied to Deutsche Bank. DWS handles one of the bank's 4 main business areas. Its role is to manage money for private and institutional investors. Through funds, it invests that money in assets like stocks. Their headquarters are located in this Frankfurt City complex. This is where Desiree started working in August 2020.
I was hired to set DWS's sustainability strategy for the entire company, and also to set a sustainability strategy for the assets under management. How DWS would approach sustainable investing.
DWS brands itself as a market leader in sustainable investments. Desiree's job is to solidify that reputation and expand the company's ESG strategy. ESG is short for environmental, social, and governance, criteria used to evaluate companies.
And of course, we know what the 3 letters stand for. The problem is it means different things to different people.
The idea is simple. Companies with high ESG ratings are supposed to be well managed and have a positive impact on society and the environment. But in finance, ESG factors are often interpreted differently. Some people focus more on how secure and resilient a company is against environmental or societal risks. How might climate change impact the business? What effects could political decisions have? How could shifting consumer preferences affect your company?
It means to ensure that your business is profitable in a changing world, right? So it's
Just get Spectre.
very much focused on, money making.
The ESG acronym comes with countless issues.
Profitable in a
Political decisions have. How could shifting consumer preferences affect your company?
It means to ensure that your business is profitable in a changing world, right? So it's very much focused on, money making.
The ESG acronym comes with countless issues. There's no universal definition, the available data is often poor, and there's a glaring lack of regulation. Evaluation criteria are often opaque, and the results can vary wildly. We'll touch on many of these problems in this video, but explaining it all in detail would go far beyond our scope. You'll find further resources on ESG in the description. Despite all those uncertainties, the ESG industry is growing steadily. Investors around the globe are eager to invest sustainably.
ESG had become a big factor. It was becoming a very big growth market.
That's not lost on DWS. The then CEO Asoka Verman repeatedly emphasizes that ESG and sustainability are of utmost importance to the company. In advertisements, DWS continually touts its years of experience in the sector.
For more than 20 years, influences ESG as a topic for product and investment decisions at Deutsche Asset Management. And in 2008, we were one of the first asset managers to sign the UN-sponsored Principles for Responsible Investment.
But when Desiree starts her job in Frankfurt, she's in for a surprise. She works closely with board members of DWS and Deutsche Bank, as well as high-ranking fund managers and analysts. But according to Fixler, their focus is rarely on the core business.
In all my interactions with Carl van Roer or Asoka or the Vorstand at DWS, these folks didn't like talking about the business. So, they didn't use Bloomberg. They weren't looking at financial markets. There was no excitement about what they were doing. I had the feeling they loved their senior positions. They loved the perks. They thought they were very special because they were, Vorstandmitglieder. In all of my interactions, there was always one word missing. In all the meetings, client. I never, ever heard these guys speak about their clients, their customers.
That may sound exaggerated, but that's how Fixler puts it. Many businesses lose focus on their clients and their clients' data. Time and again, data breaches result in tons of personal information turning up online. Addresses, phone numbers, etc., which are then collected by data brokers. They in turn resell this data partly to scammers. The consequences range from robocalls and weird emails all the way to identity theft. Incogni forces data brokers to delete your sensitive information. It scans the web, finds where your data is being sold, and sends automated removal requests on your behalf. Plus, it keeps up the fight, regularly rescanning to ensure brokers don't sneak your data back into circulation. A clean dashboard keeps you posted at all times. That means less spam, less risk, and more peace of mind. Take control of your information online. Visit incogni.com/FernTV or scan the QR code on screen. Use the code FernTV to unlock an exclusive discount on a 1-year plan. There's no 100% guarantee for data protection, so always handle your personal information with care. Over the years, Deutsche Bank has been caught up in one major scandal after another. Just months before Desiree's tenure, Deutsche Bank had paid a hefty penalty for its business ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. During that period, there were even rumors that Deutsche Bank might completely pull out of the US market. Maybe that's why Desiree senses a different vibe in Frankfurt compared to other financial hubs.
It was weird. It's a very strange institution. I think if you work for the institution in London or New York, it's okay. It's probably feels like any other sort of bank or asset management company, but Frankfurt head office is really strange. I used to call it the upside down world. When you're in meetings, or just reading your emails, interacting with the senior brass at Deutsche Bank, these are some very strange, very peculiar individuals.
Desiree gets to work either way. Her first step, take stock of the situation. What companies is DWS investing in, and how are these decisions made? One company keeps popping up. One that has gained quite the reputation. The Wirecard scandal broke in June 2020, just a few months before Desiree got to Frankfurt. DWS lost around $650 million when the payment provider collapsed. Oddly enough, Wirecard was listed in DWS's ESG Investor Fund. That fund was supposedly reserved for companies that are responsibly managed and adhere to social and environmental standards. Up until April 2020, Wirecard was the fund's second largest holding, making up 9.1% of its portfolio. That position was reduced to 4.5% just 2 months before the scandal broke. Desiree is puzzled.
How did Wirecard get into this ESG fund?
She decides to investigate how the company made its way into this supposedly sustainable fund and why DWS held onto it for so long. She contacts the responsible team, but keeps getting the same response.
We have already sold all Wirecard. I'm like, I know. And the company has collapsed. And we're looking at taking a 650 million euro hit on this. I know. The question is, how did it happen?
Determined to find answers, Desiree tracks down the internal ESG report on Wirecard.
When I clicked on it and I opened up the report, I swear I almost fell off my chair. I couldn't believe that Wirecard ended up in this portfolio and in other portfolios.
Desiree shared that internal DWS document with us. It shows Wirecard's ESG rating across various categories in May 2020. That's just 1 month before the company's total collapse. At that time, Wirecard
Okay, so I think I spent 300, so I made a profit of $440. Well, I recorded so I can go